State reform to be held according to the expectations of the people, says Chief Advisor Dr. Mohammad Yunus at a speech. Flood water increasing in Noakhali and Lokhipur, water receding in Kumilla, relief not reaching in remote areas of Feni in humanitarian crisis. Hello and welcome to News 24 English Bulletin. This is Sharina Wahid and those were Bashundhara T headlines. Now the details. Chief Advisor Dr. Mohammad Yunus announced that a free and fair election will be held after reforms in administration judiciary. The Election Commission and law enforcement speaking to the nation, he stressed the need for these reforms to ensure a successful election. Yunus highlighted the goal of creating an accountable political system to combat corruption and violence. He also called for strengthening local governments and decentralizing power. All interim government advisors will soon disclose their wealth statements and a new ordinance will be appointed an ombudsman to address state-level corruption. Some of the people in Feni are waiting for food, some are for shelter, while some others are waiting for relatives. Lack of physicians has intensified the crisis, although a number of patients has increased in most of the hospitals in the district. Quantity of medicine and number of doctors have decreased. The scenario of devastation is being clear with receding flood water.
I went 2 to 3 hospitals, wading through throat-deep water. There is no doctor anywhere.
Abdul Rahim has brought his 6-month-old kid to several hospitals. Now he is approaching to Feni Sadar Hospital, wading through knee-deep water. This is the scenario of Sadar Hospital in the most devastating humanitarian disaster of remembrance in Feni after receding floodwater by several feet. Tens of thousands of people in Porshuram, Chagolnaiya, Sonagaji and Fulgaji are remaining maroon with several crises, including food crisis, water crisis, shelter crisis and crisis in healthcare. Only a few intern doctors are providing medical treatment in the hospital. Patients alleged doctors have come to the hospital today after 4 days of absence. Nurses were also absent.
Treatment of the kid is not going on. What will you do staying here?
We have come to perform duty in this situation as there are kids, mothers and pregnant women. We have come out of responsibility.
There are many nurses nearby the hospital, many of them married and out of network. We are not getting any information of them. We will be able to come to workplace easily if a boat is arranged.
Food crisis in the hospital is inevitable. Once Sahara Begum brought her pregnant daughter on Wednesday. From then, they are facing food shortage like other patients of the hospital.
The kid is not getting breastfeed and screaming. Doctors told us to admit. What will we do admitting the child? No doctor is here.
Many people of the area are yet to get any relief due to lack of communication system. As a result, devastations reflected after receding water.
No food has been given since last several days. They gave a little. It's not sufficient.
As per rescue workers, people of Feni will face severe disaster if number of doctors and medical equipment are not increased on emergency basis. Ekramul Haq Suman, News 24.
বিজলি কেবলস যে কোনো স্থাপনার বৈদ্যুতিক সংযোগকে রাখে নিরাপদ। এর স্কিন কোটেড ইনসুলেশন সম্পূর্ণ ফায়ার রিটার্ডেন্ট, তাই বিজলি কেবলস নিজেই নিজেকে নেভায়। বিজলি কেবলস,
নিরাপদ আজীবন।
The flood situation in southeastern Bangladesh remains stable, but new areas in several districts are still being flooded. Water levels in Noakhali have risen sharply due to continued rain. In Lokhipur, around 7 lakh people were trapped by the worst flood in recent memory. Kaptai Dam's 16 gates were opened as water levels increased. Relief efforts are hampered by submerged roads and ongoing flooding in Kumilla. 11 districts including Feni, Lokhipur, Kumilla and Noakhali are facing severe flooding. The Bangladesh Army is leading rescue efforts providing food, clean water and medicine to affected people. They are working tirelessly alongside the Air Force, Navy and Border Guard Bangladesh BGB. Relief is being distributed through helicopters, land routes and boats. So far, 20,000 people have been rescued. Medical teams are also offering support to those in need. People in southeastern Bangladesh are suffering from the worst flood in recent memory. Bashundhara group has stepped forward to help, offering food and medicine to those in need. In Kumilla, where hundreds are trapped, the group's relief efforts brought hope to flood victims. Teachers and students from Bashundhara residential area helped distribute aid. Bashundhara group also delivered relief to Feni and Noakhali by boat, bringing vital support to those affected. BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir stated that the interim government will be given enough time for elections, but it will not be prolonged. He accused Sheikh Hasina of misleading people from India. BNP Standing Committee member Hafizuddin Ahmed called for the removal of controversial figures from the Advisory Council. BNP has also started relief collection for flood-affected people, gathering aid daily from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. China has donated $20,000 to the flood relief fund of Chief Advisor Dr. Muhammad Yunus. The donation was presented by Chinese Ambassador Yang Wen in Dhaka. The ambassador expressed hope that Bangladesh, under the Chief Advisor's leadership, will recover swiftly from the floods. He also mentioned that a Chinese agency provides a daily hydropower data to Bangladesh. Dr. Yunus urged China to invest in solar power and boost economic ties and investment. On the fourth day, Ansar members protested on the streets, demanding job nationalization. Roads around the Secretariat, High Court and Press Club were blocked, causing severe traffic congestion. The Home Advisor announced the end of the 6-month rest period for Ansar members and stated that their nationalization demand would be reviewed based on a committee report. The protest was suspended following this assurance. Ansar members working on a daily contract of 540 Dhaka seek permanent jobs. The Finance and Trade Advisor Dr. Salihuddin Ahmed said the decision on whether the current budget's black money whitening opportunity will continue will be made after discussions. The government will ensure that new black money is not created. This was stated after a meeting with development partners in Dhaka. Dr. Ahmed called for increased investment in sustainable and equitable projects. The advisor also mentioned that loans will be taken after proper verification and ongoing disparities will be addressed gradually. We will be back after a short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching News 24 English Bulletin. Metro rail services resumed today after a 37-day break. Kazipara and Mirpur 10 stations are closed for repairs. The first train departed from Uttara North Station at 7:10 a.m. heading to Motijil. According to Dhaka Mass Rapid Transit, the first train's departure was scheduled for 7:10 a.m. and the last train will leave at 9:13 p.m. For 15 years, Ghulam Dastagir Ghazi was involved in land grabbing, drug trafficking and extortion. Aided by law enforcement and local officials, his main accomplice was Rafiqul Islam, also known as Andar Rafiq. Ghazi crimes included murder and illegal activities. His arrest has brought relief to Rupganj, which has turned from a lush area into one plagued by crime and encroachment. Ghazi's criminal reign has ended with his capture. Today marks 7 years since the Rohingya crisis began in Bangladesh. The agreement promised repatriation within 3 months, but no Rohingyas have returned to Myanmar. Their presence has led to rising crime in Ukhia and Teknaf. Experts urge the new government to boost diplomatic efforts. In 2017, Bangladesh welcomed 12 lakh Rohingyas fleeing Myanmar's violence. Despite a 2022 repatriation agreement, the process has stalled. Myanmar has not accepted any returns, causing local frustration. India faces a dilemma after granting asylum to Sheikh Hasina as her legal stay near its ends. Media reports indicate growing calls for her return under the extradition treaty with Bangladesh. However, analysts believe returning Hasina could be difficult and might strain relations with the interim government. Hasina, who spent 20 days in India following protests in Bangladesh, faces 51 charges, including 42 for murder. Since 2013, India and Bangladesh have had an extradition treaty. While the current foreign advisor suggests her return might be required, experts doubt India will actually extradite her due to diplomatic concerns. If rejected, it could severely impact relations between the two countries. And that's all from the newsroom today. Thank you for watching News 24. Please stay with us.